Imagine this. You wake up, blurry-eyed, reach for your phone, and before you've even had breakfast or brushed your teeth, boom, you're watching strangers have sex on a 6-inch screen. Romantic, isn't it? Somewhere between your morning scroll and your third dopamine hit, your brain is already fried sunny side up. But hey, at least you're not doing meth, right? That's the thing about porn. It's the clean digital cousin of crack cocaine. And it's socially acceptable. Nobody blinks when you say, "Yeah, I watch porn sometimes." But what if I told you that casual indulgence might be quietly sabotaging your drive, your focus, your relationships, and even your ability to experience real pleasure? Here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's pixels. It just knows dopamine. And every time you hit play, your brain is like, "Oh yeah, jackpot." Cue the reward circuit lighting up like Vegas. Now, your brain thinks you've hit evolutionary gold. But instead of mating, building a legacy, or pursuing purpose, you're just buffering. See, porn hijacks the primal reward system, the same one responsible for food, bonding, success, and, ironically, survival. It trains your brain to expect maximal stimulation from minimal effort. Why chase real-world goals when you can get the same pleasure in 5 minutes with a Wi-Fi connection and 0 pants? That's the trap. What feels like a harmless escape is rewiring your brain to crave instant hits of high-octane pleasure, and nothing else feels good enough afterward. Work becomes boring. Conversations feel flat. Even actual sex starts to feel meh. And that's not even the scary part, because once porn becomes your go-to reward, your motivation tanks. You feel foggy, unmotivated, overstimulated, but somehow also underwhelmed. You keep going back to the thing that's making you feel worse, hoping it'll make you feel better. Sound familiar? And it's not your fault. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Repeat what gives it pleasure. But here's the thing. It doesn't care if it's destroying your potential in the process. Still think it's harmless. Hang tight. If that didn't spook you, let's turn up the heat. Okay, let's go full Matrix for a second. Your brain is plastic. Not in a Barbie doll way, but in the neuroplasticity way, meaning it physically changes based on what you repeatedly do. So, every time you binge porn, your brain is learning, "Oh, this is our new favorite activity, got it. Let's build a superhighway for it." Repetition builds connection. Connection builds craving. Craving builds compulsive behavior. Before you know it, your brain's neural circuits look like they were designed by an overstimulated 14-year-old boy with zero chill. The reward system, specifically the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, becomes dominated by porn. That dopamine, it's not just making you feel good, it's training your brain to expect porn as the main source of pleasure, and over time you build a tolerance. What used to excite you now bores you. So what do? You seek more extreme content, more novelty, more taboo, just to feel the same high. Sound familiar? This is the same loop seen in substance addiction. And guess what? Your brain doesn't care if you're snorting coke or clicking videos. If the dopamine hit is high enough, the addiction cycle starts rolling. And that cycle? It messes with your prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO, the part that controls impulse, planning, focus. It starts to go offline. Suddenly you can't concentrate. You procrastinate more. You make worse decisions. You lose ambition. You trade purpose for pixels. What's worse? You start to desensitize, not just sexually, emotionally too. Things that used to excite you, achievements, connection, intimacy, feel bland. Because compared to the constant novelty of porn, reality feels dial-up slow. And here's the tragic twist. The more you consume, the emptier you feel. Because it's not satisfaction, it's simulation. A simulation that's robbing you of your capacity to enjoy real life. Still think it's just me time? It's training time, and you're training your brain to be numb. Let's keep this moving. You might be wondering, okay, but I'm single, so who cares? Let's talk about that. Listen, I don't care how suave your dating profile is. If your brain is soaked in porn, your real-life relationships are getting nuked from the inside out. You know how rom-coms gave people unrealistic expectations of love? Porn is like that, but mutated. It doesn't just mislead you, it rewires you. Here's the reality. When your primary source of sexual satisfaction comes from watching scripted, high-intensity fantasy scenarios, your brain starts to expect that everywhere. You begin looking at real people and real intimacy through a filter that doesn't even exist. It's like watching Fast and Furious and being disappointed that your Uber doesn't drift around corners. You start sexualizing strangers, objectifying people, comparing your partner or future partners to digital illusions. And here's the real dagger. You stop valuing connection. Real sex requires vulnerability, effort, presence. Porn, zero intimacy, all dopamine. And it's not just about sex. Porn-heavy brains are more likely to feel loneliness, shame, and anxiety in relationships. Why? Because emotional intimacy requires delayed gratification, and porn has trained you for immediate rewards. That mismatch creates friction, disconnection, dissatisfaction. Even worse, erectile dysfunction. Yup, more and more young men can't get it up with a real partner, not because they're broken, but because their brain's arousal system is calibrated to digital novelty, not human touch. And if you think women are immune to this, think again. While the numbers skew male, women increasingly report body image issues, sexual dissatisfaction, and warped expectations around sex because of what they're watching. You might think porn helps you take the edge off, but what it's really doing is dulling your blade, making you less courageous, less connected, less alive. And if you're using porn as a replacement for connection, friendship, love, community, it's not soothing you. It's isolating you, quietly, painlessly, like a drug that numbs without healing. You still with me? Good, because now it gets darker. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you had a big goal and actually followed through? Not just daydreamed it, did it? If you're someone who says, I have no motivation, but also watches porn regularly, I hate to break it to you, but your ambition might have been hijacked. Here's the brutal truth. When your brain gets high-quality dopamine hits for free, it stops working for rewards. Why grind out a business, a skill, or a deep relationship when you can get a neurochemical payday just by opening a browser? This is called dopamine dysregulation. It's like your brain's reward thermostat is broken. It overreacts to instant gratification and underreacts to real-world wins. That's why finishing a workout feels blah. Why working on a dream feels like a chore. Why your to-do list collects dust. And don't even get me started on brain fog. Porn disrupts your frontal lobe function, reducing memory, concentration, decision-making. No wonder your attention span's shot. You've conditioned your mind to jump from tab to tab, clip to clip, scene to scene, chasing novelty instead of focus. It's not just about motivation. It's about masculine or feminine energy, drive, direction. Porn bleeds that energy dry. You feel passive, defeated, stuck. You know there's more in you, but the spark is gone because you've outsourced your fire to a screen. And look, this isn't a moral lecture. It's a neurological warning. You were designed to pursue, but you've tricked your brain into thinking you've already won the game. No wonder you don't want to play. Here's your wake-up call. Every time you relapse, you're not just wasting 15 minutes. You're training your brain to not care about your own life. Still think this is just a habit? Let's talk about how to break free, for real. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Porn doesn't just affect your evenings. It rewires your brain. Quietly, relentlessly, until your goals, your relationships, your drive, all take a back seat to pixels and dopamine. Every click sends your brain the message, this is what matters. And when that message gets repeated over and over, your brain starts believing it. You begin to lose the spark for real things, projects, passions, people. Reality dims because the artificial high keeps hijacking your reward system. And here's the kicker. your brain adapts. The same content stops working. So, what happens? You go darker, deeper, more extreme, not because you want to, but because your brain is numb to anything less. That's not curiosity, that's addiction. But it doesn't have to stay this way. You're not broken, you're just wired for survival, and porn exploits that wiring like a cheat code. But the same neuroplasticity that dragged you into this spiral can pull you out. Your brain is malleable, it can change. It just needs a new signal. That starts with one simple truth. You are more powerful than your impulses. Quitting isn't just about removing porn. It's about making space for energy, for ambition, for genuine connection. You don't just give something up. You get your life back, your confidence, your ability to focus, your fire. And yeah, it's going to suck at first. You'll feel the cravings, the fog, the empty space where the screen used to be. That's withdrawal. That's the sound of your brain healing. Push through it. Because on the other side, you feel alive again. Motivation returns. Eye contact doesn't feel weird. You laugh louder, you sleep better, and you stop needing to numb yourself just to feel okay. You finally start showing up for your goals, your people, your future. So if this hit home, if you feel like something's been holding you back, maybe this was it all along. And if you're ready to take your power back, start by unsubscribing from your vices and subscribing here instead. We're dropping bold, brainy self-help content every week. Motivation with teeth, psychology that slaps, tools that actually help. Subscribe now. Get your mind back. Rewire your life. Let's break the cycle. Together.